everyone, this is Eli. And I love mountain biking. And I just recently got a brand new bike. And it's the best bike I've ever had. So I'm super excited to learn new tricks on it and just have lots of fun. And I've been using all the resources I can to ride my bike on. So I actually want to make something I can ride my bike on other than hay wagons and boards. So I'm going to be making a teeter-totter out of scrap parts and showing you guys how to. Enjoy. Okay everyone, so I'm going to be making a teeter-totter thing that will sit up and then you ride your bike on it and then it goes down and you can ride off. So I'm going to be making it as cheap as I can, which I mean I'm going to make it nice, but I'm just going to use the least amount of money. So I'm going to be using scrap wood, scrap screws, and just the least amount of tools so that you guys at home can make it yourself too. So I'm going to be making it out of these two 2x6 boards that are 10 feet long. I just found them in the scrap wood pile. I also have a 2x4 that's about 5 feet long. That was a real piece of scrap. And then I have this pine log that's about 14 inches in diameter, maybe 12, but it's just a piece of scrap wood that I also found in the woods. So that's gonna be what the board's teeter-totter on. And then in the scrap screws, found about, I'd say about 20 of these GRKs, which are actually a really nice screw. I'm gonna be using a drill. I'll have to use a chop saw, a tape measure, and that's about it. So I'm gonna take that 2x4, make some braces so that these are together so it's a wider board to ride on, and then we can go from there. Okay everyone, so now that I cut those 4 2x4s, I'm going to screw them onto the 2x6s. I got one 2x4 on there. It's holding these 2x6s perfectly. They're together and really sturdy. I sunk the screws about 1/4 of an inch down into the wood, and this is gonna be on the bottom. So whenever the log, it pivots and you ride off of it, this will be like a bumper and this will hit the ground instead of this 2x6s. So now let's put the other 3. So now that I put all 4 braces on the 2x6s, they're not coming apart at all, and they're really sturdy, so it's a total of 16 screws in all the boards. So now I need to mount it to my pivot point. So I was originally gonna use this pine log, which is about 14 inches across, but instead my dad gave me this genius idea, and it's to use this wire spool. So from this top to the ground, it's probably like, I would say 24 inches. So it's gonna make this teeter-totter really tall, and this was completely free, and it's gonna make it look a lot cooler. So I'm just gonna take that, flip it over, then set it on the middle right here. And if you don't have a wire spool, you can easily use a log or something else round. So on this spool, I'm going to just put the board across it and have one side longer than the other so it comes back. And right now you could just set that board on top of this and ride on it, but after you ride on it, you'd have to set it back up. So I just want it to go, you ride it, and then it falls down and comes back up, and you don't have to set it back up. So to do that, I'm gonna use this 14-inch piece of galvanized pipe. It's 1 inch around, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bolt it on to this piece of wood somehow, about not exactly in the middle, but a little bit more to one side. And the reason why I'm doing this is so I can take this 1/2 inch all thread and drill 2 holes and have this go through my pivot point, and this can go through the galvanized pipe so that it will pivot on this. So I'll just have it like 2 inches above. So we're gonna have to somehow mount that to there. Okay everyone, so as you can see, the galvanized pipe is not exactly in the middle. This side's longer than that side. So now that it's like that, we need to mount it somehow. And I got a pretty good good way I think I know how to mount it. So I'm just gonna use some of this plumbing wire, which is like, it's copper and it has holes in it. And I'm just gonna use these wood screws and put them in the holes. And I'm gonna drill a screw on one side and then put another one on the other side and make them nice and tight so that it straddles the pipe in between and will hold it onto the wood and secure it really sturdy. And I'll do 4 of those, 2 on each board, and it'll hopefully make this be on there really nice. So I'll just make it perfectly straight and then we can put those in. Okay everyone, so I have 2 of these little braces on, and this thing is not going anywhere. But just for good measures, I am gonna put 2 more, one right there and there, just so over time this won't wear out and come off. So as you can see, that's my mount system. So it's super simple and really effective, and that pipe is not coming off the wood. Pipe is connected to the board. I need to put the all thread on the spool. So what I'm gonna do is take my all thread and make sure it's the right length. So if we look, that's pretty good. As you can see, there's about 2 or 3 inches hanging off the edge, but that will be fine because the nuts will be covering the end of the all thread. So once we have measured the all thread and it's the right size, we can now drill the holes in our pivot point. So the all thread is 1/2 inch, so I have this 1/2 inch drill bit. And I'm just gonna drill right into the side of our pivot point, and I'm gonna drill the same exact spot on the other side so that the all thread can go through and bolt onto each sides. Now I'll measure and drill the holes on those panels. So now that I drilled one hole, I can push the all thread through and then mark where it hits on the other side, then drill a hole right there. We got the hard part done. Here comes the tricky part. So now the reason why I didn't put the nut all the way on the other side is because I got to put the all thread through the pipe while it's up there. So so now that I got the rod through and into the pipe, I just kind of finger tighten the nuts on the end because they don't need to be like super tight because it's not really holding on to anything. It's just keeping the rod from coming in and out. So now I walk up, my first time trying this. Oh gosh. Whew. Now I just discovered something. When I went on it, the thing actually rolled. So one more thing we need to do is put 2 kickers on this. So let's do that. Okay, so I just got these 2 completely scrap pieces in the shop that were just gonna be burned, and I'm just gonna put them as little kickers on the circular part, so whenever you go up the ramp, the circular pivot point doesn't turn while you go up it. I'm just gonna use 4 screws and just screw it on, make sure it's level to the ground. To the back side, I'm just gonna put one that is opposite of the front one, but putting it on the back so that it won't roll back. Is finished. I'm really stoked. It works great. I've tested it out a couple times. It is pretty tricky to get over it because you got to get a lot of speed. You stay there, then it completely falls over. It's crazy, really fun. But now for the hard part, I got to put it in that little tiny truck and take it to my house. Do it. parked there. And so it won't be so hard to load. I'm just gonna take it apart right now because it's really easy to take apart. So now I have this part separate and the spool separate, so I can actually lift it up. I just wanted to say that so you can take it apart. So yeah. Oh gosh.